Hey everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope you guys are doing well, and today we are going to read a book called Caps for Sale, and I have permission from Scholastic to read this book to you and to post it online. So thank you to Scholastic for allowing teachers to read books to their kiddos online. So it's one of my favorite books from when I was a kid, and I hope you guys like it too. Let's jump right into the book.
So here it is, Caps for Sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like any ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as to not upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I will go for a walk in the country," said he, and he walked out of town, slowly, so as to not upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there. So he went to sleep, and he slept for a very long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. What do you notice about his head? But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. And all he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. And then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey, and on every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys, and the monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers at him and said, "Tsk, tsk, tsk, tsk." This made the peddler very angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, "Tsk, tsk, 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 tsk." Now, he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Tsk, tsk, tsk, tsk." By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, "Tsk, tsk, 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 last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap, and all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps and came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First, his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly he walked back to town calling, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" The end. So I hope you enjoyed Caps for Sale. I just loved that book because I thought the monkeys were really funny. And your assignment today is to talk with your family about why you think the monkeys threw their caps off. Like they were so not wanting to give the caps back. So why do you think the monkeys eventually took their caps off and threw them down to them? All right, guys, I love you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.